Let me finally get started, y'all. I have been on break. I'm coming to the end of a lovely week, starting a new one. It is actually 12:25. That's actually the number of an illusion we've been having for all of our lifetime. Oh, I'm so silly. I'm not going to get into the details of that. We're going to talk about this being episode 9 of Addicted to Astrology. Welcome, y'all. Okay, thanks for joining me. Again, it is already the next day, and I'm talking about June 21st, but it is, well, it's still June 21st on the West Coast. Shout out to the West Coast, so let's just keep it at that. You know, I love to start at 11:11 in the morning, and it is past 11:11 at night. Anyway, I'm getting back into my wigs, y'all. Finally, as you saw in my last episode, got my cornrows done, and I can throw a wig on top of them instead of wearing out my natural afro. So just getting to love me, and we're going to go back into Venus being in Gemini in retrograde and going direct this week. But speaking of things ending and starting anew, the title of this is The Ending into the New Beginning. So, a lot happened this week. We already had Mercury retrograde this past, is that Wednesday or Thursday? The 17th and the 18th is when Mercury went in retrograde in the sign of Cancer. Today we had a solar eclipse at 0 degrees of Cancer, which is when the sun and the moon, which is also in Cancer, the new moon in Cancer, and I'm going to write my new moon intentions right after I finish this because I have been totally taking in a lot of energies, y'all. Been doing a lot of birth charts, and again, I'm greatly appreciative. I'm loving my new gig of writing birth charts. I've done almost 10 of them already for people in the past week, and word of mouth, I appreciate you all that wrote reviews for me, and those of you who got me more clients. I appreciate everyone for that. So I'm moving on, and now I'm trying to expand this YouTube channel, so please add your friends, share, and like and comment and subscribe. All right, so again, the number 9, this being the 9th episode, is the ending number to get ready for new beginnings. When it goes back to 1, when you get to 10, some people consider 11 as 2, and then it starts back at 1 in numerology. Anyway, the things that we're going to involve numbers in with this solar eclipse to happen today is that it being at 0 degrees. And Neptune in retrograde will also start this week at 21 around degrees Pisces. And I'm sorry, Neptune, it'll be 21 degrees Pisces. It starts on June the 22nd. Then Venus in retrograde will stop and be going direct on June the 24th, 2 days after Neptune in retrograde starts. So we have Saturn still in retrograde, Pluto still in retrograde, we have Jupiter in retrograde, we have Mercury retrograde that started just now, Venus will still be in retrograde a few more days, and Neptune starting 2 days before Venus ends. So that is 6 planets giving you this energy of review and renew, because again, this is the ending of a new beginning. Because most of these signs are in, most of these planets today, the sun, the moon, and Mercury are in Cancer. Neptune is in Pisces. That is a lot of water energy, a lot of emotional, a lot of intuitive, a lot of spiritual, a lot of moodiness. Cancer is the moon sign. Shout out to the Cancer season that just started today as well. Shout out to the opposition of Cancer. So Cancer is the feminine energy from the moon, and the opposition is the masculine energy from Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto, which are all in Capricorn, except Saturn is still in Aquarius until I find out the date. The date is next week, July the 1st, when it goes back into Capricorn. So we'll go into that later, but all of this retrograde type of energy from masculine and feminine planets, 6 of them, that's an even number, evenly giving you masculine and feminine energy, are telling you to slow down, especially Mercury in Cancer. Slow down, take in what's going on. And then Mercury in retrograde in Cancer is at 15 degrees, which is the middle degree out of all the degrees, 0 to 30 or 0 to 29, depending on which source you use. But the middle degree is like a balancing of both energies, the beginning energy and the ending energy, the new energy and the ending energy first coming into the new energy. So here we are, the communication planet, the planet that absorbs our energy when it's going direct, and when it goes retrograde, it gives it back to us, as in, what did you learn on communicating and giving out messages and thinking, and it being in Cancer will definitely bring in the healing option. By the way, I forgot to set the mood. I'll be ready to go. There we go. So, Miss Ibadu, but instrumental, of course, so we don't break any laws that are censoring us anyway. I got open roads. I got the moon. I'm talking about big energies have come in this week, so please forgive me being absent-minded. As my Pisces in the 6th house. I can't wait to start talking about houses with y'all. The opposite of Pisces is Virgo. That's the 6th house. I'm still learning about the 6th house, but Pisces represents the 12th house, and my 12th house is in Libra. Balance. So I'm balancing out all my absent-minded, spiritual, intensifying, imaginary, delusional, illusional type of energies. Balancing all that with spirituality. Miss Erykah Badu is a Pisces, did you know? It's her song called Didn't You Know? And we're going to start talking about the things that you might have not known are going on in the universe. And how the water signs, Pisces and Cancers, shout out to my fellow water signs. I'm a Scorpio. My power is very intuitive. That's the reason why I'm kind of what we call psychic, and why I do what I do. Alright. So you can hear me. Let's get back to business. Alright. We were talking about how we're going to slow down to get organized, check in with yourself, plan ahead and get caught up on things involving your conscious spirit. And in Cancer, you do these things, you slow down, you take better care of yourself, you pay attention to detail, like the opposite of Pisces, but I'm talking about Cancer. The opposite of Cancer is Capricorn, which is a life lessening, restrictive, hard-working type of sign and energy, and Cancer is protective and ever-changing. It's also a cardinal sign, which is independent and ever-changing. So this energy is protecting and healing the opposition energies of life lessons and just being restricted, and now you're free. And the key to it being in 0 degrees is that it's starting off at a new and a new beginning of a energy. And Cancer deals with the heart, so you're getting closer to your heart, how you do things, especially how you feel right now with these energies. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon brings all these different energies every 2.5 days. It'll be in Cancer all today and all tomorrow, June 22nd and June 21st. And the moon is in Cancer, tied in with the sun being in Cancer, just coming in and doing that solar eclipse that happened today. And the solar eclipse is powerful energy from the main energy source, which is the sun. So you're just being aware right now that energy is definitely changing on the planet from the planets above. The energy is being more open to what's happening in these new beginnings, leaving these endings of whatever's going on for you and the collective. And this is like a mega eclipse. This is the biggest eclipse of eclipse season. Eclipse season started in January. It was still in the Cancer Capricorn realm. Then we had an eclipse on the lunar eclipse back in the beginning of June. That was in Gemini for the Gemini new moon. Now we're having the solar eclipse in the new moon, also that happened today on the 21st in Cancer. So new moons are also, dark in the sky because it's, I guess, like the moon and the energy from the moon recharging itself because it's not getting any light from the sun as the new moon. It's a total dark moon, right? Again, this is the biggest eclipse of 2020. There's another one that's coming so this was also the beginning of summer. It's another one coming in the winter solstice. So this was the beginning of the summer solstice. The tropic in Cancer, if you've learned back in history and geography class, is the latitude or longitude line. I can't remember which that one was. I have a lot of relearning to do, but as we all do. But the Tropic of Cancer is the beginning of summer. Today on June 21st is the summer equinox, and we're talking about another eclipse, lunar eclipse in Capricorn, happening in Capricorn on the new moon in Capricorn on December 21st. Anyway, the cardinal energy from Cancer, the Cancer sign and the Capricorn signs, this brings new energy, new seasons of our lives. Not just the equinoxes are new and the new, the earth is changing because of the seasons. Not that kind of new. This is like the changing of seasons within us. It's like the new level of us. So this energy brings in changing, and changing is the big thing because, again, the sun, moon, and Mercury planets are, well, the sun is a star and the moon is the moon, but the planet, those energies are giving, and those are the top energies, they are giving off the Cancer feminine energy, and Saturn that's going back into Capricorn on, because it went into this long transit as well. a 17-year transit, I believe, and I'm going to give you the date on that in a second. It's going back into Cancer from Aquarius at 0 degrees, which is another, like, it was a taste of what to expect coming when it goes back into Aquarius, because it's retrograde, so it's going backwards into Capricorn. Saturn is. And Saturn, along with Jupiter and Pluto, have been making these conjunctions, which means it can go either way. It can be positive or negative transits in the sky all 2020, because they're all in the same sign of Capricorn, close into degree. That's what a conjunction is. I spoke on this before. I don't want to repeat myself or bore you. So, where I was going, this is new seasons. This is changing us into these new seasons and these new eras based on how we love with Venus, what we want. Not how we love, also not only with the planet of love, which is Venus, the planet of Mars being in Pisces has to do with how we love too, the action we take. Pisces is the other water sign, so we're getting a lot of feminine energy from Mercury and Mars. Gemini is, Venus is in Gemini, which is masculine and feminine energy. We're changing what we want. Jupiter is the planet of abundance. It's in retrograde, helping us decide on how we're going to receive our blessings based on what we want and what energies we put out for those blessings. Saturn rewards from the lessons we've learned. And all these Capricorn energies are learning to balance out. All these masculine energies are learning to balance out. And I talked about masculine and feminine energy a couple of episodes ago too, on what our heart feels from the feminine energy in these changes on the masculine energy side. The masculine energy planets in Capricorn are being balanced and helped from the feminine energy in Mars, Mercury, the Sun, and the Moon at this time. Now, this is also a cycle of completions. Excuse me. Completions when you're talking about the open roads is opening at my chest, so I need to drink some water. And the moon and scent that I have going. So completions are also having to deal with the endings. Excuse me. The North Node, which is like one of my very first episodes again, changed from Capricorn to Cancer into Gemini and Sagittarius. North Node and the South Node go backwards. They're the opposition signs working on where you've come from, your experiences being the South Node, and where you're going to, what your destiny is in the North Node. So the North Node went back to Gemini, the masculine and feminine energy, to ending a cycle at 29 degrees. It still is at 29 degrees, and it's like taking us out of a certain era, especially because we just left the Cancer and Capricorn nodes. So we're just coming out of that era, so that's why it's at 29 degrees, and it's affecting all the other degrees in the other planets. Mercury being at that middle degree of 15, balancing out the communication and the thought process and the mindsets of everybody on Earth. The 0 degree planets are the Sun. The Sun is actually at 1 degree now. That the day is over and gone into the next day. But it was 0 degrees in the Sun. 0 degrees at, help me out, y'all. 0 degrees. I had a moment. 0 degrees at Aquarius. And remember, that's why it is in the beginning stages of Aquarius, giving us a tease of how we have learned our lessons and how we're going to innovate them in the future, right? So it will go back, and we'll talk about the dates when it goes back, but we are going back on July the 1st into Capricorn at 29 degrees, so we're still at the ending, still relearning something. After we relearn it once again, we'll go forward with it in Aquarius again. So all this is taking us into a certain area with these planets at 0 degrees and 29 degrees of the beginning of things and the ending of things, the completion of things. One area in your life, you are completing another area of life. So you're receiving new stuff that's not quite here yet, but Mercury retrograde gets you really ready for new things too, because you're planning out and you're slowing down and you're redoing and rethinking things. And it's again at that balance degree of 15 degrees, so it's the beginning and ends. It is kind of balancing out, and we're all feeling the energy pulling us to, like, if you're an intensive, I am an intensive sign. If you're an intuitive sign, you are feeling the North Node kind of, throwing you one way or the other. The conjunction of the planets Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter kind of giving you a one way or the other type of situation. And the feminine planets or the feminine signs in certain planets are giving you that cool off, hold up, let's plan these things out, let's reconsider some stuff. So especially Cancers, because Cancers again are a protective, nurturing sign. When you think of Cancers, you're thinking of crabs. Crabs kind of move sideways, but they're still moving forward. They're still taking action, and they're still protecting themselves with that peripheral vision, or even though they can't see behind themselves, like I said, they're moving forward sideways. So it's all bringing like a new way to learn how to heal, with that protective and that nurturing and that intensified feelings and energies that you are getting to also be intuitively aligned with all the other energies going on. So this is all Cancer type of energy coming in with all these planets and things in Cancer. Excuse me. So these energies that are being healed are connected to feminine energy, like your upbringing with your mother, motherhood itself, or mothering yourself, nurturing yourself. And this is also bringing a purity over all the other energies, especially at 0 degrees again. Cancers protect but can be defensive, and they get in a softer, more nurturing way when they are in their element, and that will give you body messages as you are getting this Cancer energy. Even if you are not a Cancer, that will give you messages and downloads like I've been getting and needing breaks from, that you are trusting yourself in a motherly kind of way. You're nurturing yourself, you're unconditionally loving yourself, and you're protecting yourself, and you know that you're safe with yourself because you're giving yourself these motherly, nurturing, emotionally driven but protective kind of energy. Mercury, Mars, Neptune, Sun, and the Moon are all in water signs. The Moon is the emotional sign, again, the one that goes through all these changes. The Sun is giving the most energy out of all the energies in the solar system. Mercury is giving the energy that comes directly from our head and our hearts, because it's in Cancer. Cancer represents the heart again. Mars is the energy that Mars and Neptune are the Pisces energies. Pisces are at the ending of things too. They're at the end, the last sign. They're at the last house. Neptune is one of the furthest planets. It takes the longest time. Our generations are built around Neptune, because the generations of Neptune are about 14, 15 years long, and Generation Z, X, baby boomers, all of them are about 15, some are 20 years long. So Neptune is important to talk about too, and we'll get heavy into that once it goes into retrograde next week, or this week. We'll get into it next week on next week's episode. All right, love yourself and the emotional process you've been through, especially what's going on in the world. And we're in going into our 4th month, even though some things are definitely opening back up, especially tomorrow here. Shout out to DC, it's finally opening up the pools, because this is a humid city, and us water signs, especially in the water the first water sign starting in the summer equinox. We need our water, okay? Yes, we gotta stay hydrated, gotta stay cool, gotta stay calm. So we've been through so much, everybody on this earth, especially during this pandemic. You know what you need now. You know what you need now to heal. But as far as the collective healing, we're kind of at a void. We are currently at a silent but progressive movement, if that makes sense. I like to say make it make sense. So, for example, I am slowly moving into becoming an astrologer, serious about my craft, serious about my YouTube channel, serious about moving forward with other endeavors, and definitely with water signs. That's all creative energy. We thrive the best when we are creative. Scorpios, Cancers, and Pisces, especially Pisces, especially with the planet Neptune in Pisces, which is what it rules. The energy you want to heal from, you take in something that's quite a task, or has been a task, or has been something that you're not ready to really let go of, and you already have, even though you already have all these other things to handle, it's something that you must heal from. Pisces energy throws things in the back of your head, sweeps things under the rug. It's a faraway planet, so it throws things in the broom closet. And you know you got to take it out one day, and this right now is the energy to take it out. Mars being in Pisces as well, Mars the action planet. This is when Pisces is in Mars, it being the last of all the signs. It has all the signs' energies as well. It's kind of tired. It's like, you know, I don't want to be taking a big energy right now. I want to kind of float here. It's a dreamy sign, Pisces is, and it doesn't really get much done in being in Mars, the plane of action, because it really just likes to take its time at this point. So there's a void, like a silent energy coming from Mars and Pisces. We're kind of in our dreamy state with Mars and Pisces, and the energy, like I said, can be kind of tossed away. But now, and Mars is not going into retrograde until later, but it's still giving us that now we're ready to understand how to use this energy and not be lazy with it. Kind of like me going into this astrology and not just sitting around doing birth charts and not taking it for my friends, even though I enjoyed that. I'm ready to go further with it because I like it. I like being on YouTube. I like talking to people and getting feedback. And I went slow with it, and now I know how well I do with it, being creative. And I'm ready to go full force with it, especially when Mars moves into Aries, which is the full force kind of drive, highly driven, aggressive sign, fire sign. So Neptune going in retrograde this week too is another energy, again in Pisces. And what are we healing from with the other energies, the other feminine energies in Cancer at a soul level? So it's like I've held it in so long. Now that we're ready to run with it, we have put things off so long that now we're creatively ready to turn it into something beautiful. Something that was only an idea, like me doing birth charts for money and me telling forecasts to help the collective, giving service, and you know, doing something fun and creative. It's now a representation of whatever its original form was. So I loved finding out about the signs. My mother used to do my birth chart and my kids' birth chart when my kids were, babies. And I loved reading horoscopes, and it was always me kind of guessing, how my friends or relationships would go just based on their sun signs. And then when I got into birth charts, I'm realizing the other planets had energy in the other signs, how they go along with each other and complement each other, and the transits and the houses and everything. As far as the rabbit hole of astrology I went down, it was something that, also speaking of relationships, it was something that was traumatic. Certain clashes of energy that I put myself in. Scorpios tend to want things that they can't have. And now that I'm coming to a realization, the energies are a little bit different. The energies have brought back the realization that I need to fix something and I need to heal from something, that there is, a way to do it creatively. Being that it's Father's Day, I don't talk to my father a lot. He finally texts me back. My father's a Pisces too, which is crazy. But he said we're both crazy, so I don't think we should talk on the phone. But, I'll text you. My father likes to write letters like he's in jail. He's always been like that. So me not wanting to write letters like that, I said, okay, let me send this man a text because we haven't spoken in so long. And it's just time to speak. It's just time to speak. And I felt that, and I received it, and I appreciated it, and I told him, thank you for at least writing me back. And whenever you're ready to text back, and I threw him some pictures of his grandkids, and I kept it moving. I did that in a creative kind of way. Like, okay, he acknowledged me, even though he's been kind of dodging me on Facebook, just been watching me. Anyway, I'm glad that we brought this energy together in whatever way I could. And I creatively just said, okay, let me text a man because he likes to write. Anyway, being a Pisces, is a creative guy too. So the Pisces energy represents completion. And I feel like I have finally completed an era with that of coming through to my father. That masculine, feminine energy. So, what do you want to complete that will evolve you and give you relief from what you've been through, be it anything? You can creatively, even privately, because Scorpios and Pisces can be private signs, especially we both are kind of shadowy signs. There's big energy in the cosmos right now for something loving and accepting of yourself and allowing yourself to move on in a creative way. And I feel like I can move on even if he doesn't text me back, because he finally said something. All right, we're almost done here, y'all. So July the 1st is when Saturn goes back into Capricorn. And let me give you some other dates really quick. There is a reason specifically why I want to say that she's coming back direct. Dang, I lost the date, y'all. I thought I had it ready this time. Maybe I can get it ready before I end this. So she's coming back direct. Venus is in Gemini. And the 24th of June, this week coming up. So she's coming back to where she is creating a new story, basically, on her love life, with acceptance from her past childhood, because Gemini deals with not only like masculine, feminine energy or the twins, it deals with like childlike energies. I just missed 111, dang. Yes, it's that late. All right, so Gemini is going direct at 5 degrees, which is still in the first decan, 0 to 9 degrees of Gemini. It is in the first decan, so it's still in the beginning point. So it's like you are rewriting your story. You're going back from the retrograde. You're reviewing what you learned, and you're going back at a lower degree, basically, to kind of figure out what the issue was with love love relationships, partnerships, families, siblings, and you're kind of rewriting what made you triggered, or what made you, it's like a growth process. The feelings that you got back then when you were a child, how is that playing out now with you? Gemini, again, is the childlike stage. So here it is, starting at the 5th degree, and you're resetting back, especially with the North Node again in Gemini, at 29 degrees. So it's something that you have already thought you might have completed. But Gemini at 5 degrees in Venus is saying, okay, so going forward, because at 5 degrees direct, it's going to go back up towards the, the next 2 decans of the beginning, middle, and ending stages of Gemini and Venus. And this is like teaching you how to go easy on yourself this time as you move through your relationships and your partnerships and the way you love people and love yourself. And again, with all the other masculine energies, a lot of people just might deal with male figures, and them being at the 29th degree in Capricorn and Jupiter and Capricorn, and Pluto in Capricorn, and it going in from Saturn at 0 degrees Aquarius and 29 degrees of Capricorn. All of those masculine energies are completing and healing themselves, right? So all of these energies and their degrees, hope I'm not confusing you, but they are very specific, especially with leadership release. Like Saturn is the restrictive father figure, or even governmental planet where we are learning that this is the end of something involving those energies, those masculine energies. This is the end of the restrictive energies, censorship. This is the end of I dare to say it, male chauvinistic type of stuff. I wouldn't say the end of it, but it's like, it's what is the word I'm looking for? It's completing itself. It's been in retrograde, so it's redoing itself. It's changing, it's transforming. Pluto as well. Pluto is a transformative planet. It brings changes. Sorry, y'all. It's late, so let me wrap this up. Especially if you're intuitive like I am, and a Scorpio, the planet is intuitive. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. You feel this energy really heavy. So I don't know if you all have been feeling the energies of all these planets that I'm talking about, or just some kind of voided energy, some energy that feels like you're ending and starting a new beginning somewhere. It could be realistically happening. I know that we are ending a cycle in the home that we've been in for 26 years. I know that we're excited about wherever we're going, even though there's that void. I'm sure that there are other people that feel this energy out here, especially if you're a Scorpio or water sign. Going back to Saturn real quick again. Saturn in Aquarius at 0 degrees is all like tipping the energy scale from the sun energy being the strongest energy, again, the brightest force of energy, while all the other energies from all the other planets are being shifted, and the energies here on Earth are being shifted and felt from those shifts up in the sky. So now you concentrate on these energies and see what they feel like to you. Cancer, again, is the feely, moody, heartfelt, healing type of energy. So these heavy and intense energies coming from Capricorn, the opposition sign of Cancer, coming from the masculine side, with the feminine side trying to heal and nurture those masculine energies, those old energies that are completing themselves and ending. It feels like there has actually been a removal on Earth. There feels like there's been an uproot, like a big tree has been pulled up and there's a big hole, there's a big void somewhere. And if you don't feel it, it's going to be more real as the days increase, especially as the sun moves into 30 days of Cancer, 29 now. So the energies that I'm speaking of lastly, that I'm wrapping up with, the void, the what's next, the limbo. The good thing about these energies, because again, the conjunction can go either way, the transit of the cosmos can go either way right now. The removal of these energies means they're gone, and they're gone forever, so they're not coming back. This is like the worst is over and the best is yet to come. This is like staying positive even when you're in your head and you have things in the back of your head that you want to bring to the front and handle. This is the energy for all that. This is the energy for creativity. I know a billion people that I don't know that are all of a sudden putting out services, products, beautiful artistic songs, poems, new movies to be being created behind the scenes, as we all are in a limbo with being able to work and be creative in the spaces that we were, that are now having to be, you have to wear a mask in these spaces, or 50% occupancy, or in a plastic bubble, who knows, and it's just us creatively figuring out how to move into this new era. Nothing is going to be the same. There's people that don't want to take off their masks. There's people that do. We haven't made a decision on that. Some of us have, but still have to be restricted to certain places, and we have to be restricted to our masks. So at this 0 degree, at this new beginning, at this first realm, at this beginning of a new era, we are creatively figuring out how to go with the flow, how to move into it in a nurturing and healing way from what we just left, from the ending of something, right? Hope this all makes sense. Hope I didn't bore you. Sometimes I lift my head up while I'm talking because I'm in my head all the time. I don't want to read from my notes all day. I just use them as talk points so that I can go up in my head and be like, okay, then where are you going with this? So I appreciate y'all that hung on with me all this time. I'm sure we went over an hour today because I'm looking at the clock. And I love y'all for being here, liking, subscribing, following, sending me emails and questions, clients, and just looking at your energies. And I thank you for letting me into your energy and your world. And I appreciate you all. I'm here to teach everyone abundantly and empower many. Zakia, enlightening every day. TMC. Love y'all. Peace. Enjoy this ride. I will see y'all on the midweek check-in on Wednesday. All right. Have a great week.